All right,
Hey, don't we go live. Give me-
Call roll.
Give me a few seconds.
You're good, Charlie? Gearing.
Yeah.
Jacobson.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yes.
Schoenwald.
Here.
Jaden.
Yes.
Waltner.
Present.
minutes of the last meeting.
Move to accept.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Vouchers, salaries. Questions?
Motion to accept.
Second that.
Is that Blaine?
Yep.
Call roll, please.
Sorry.
Yes.
Schoenwald.
Yes.
Jaden.
Yes.
Waltner.
Yes.
Gearing. Jacobson.
Yes.
Financial report.
Move to accept.
Second.
Call roll.
Schoenwald.
Yes.
Jaden.
Yes.
Waltner.
Yes.
Gearing.
Yes.
Jacobson.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
2020 audit report is done. I don't know, I can't remember, I think I touched on this a little bit last meeting. Basically, all is good, with the exception is to clean the fire department up as far as, and they have been, we spoke to them, and they will be submitting a report and so forth. That was really the only thing Mr. Shanefish had a question on, so unless somebody else has a question, I'll entertain a motion to accept the 2020 audit report.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
call roll.
Jaden.
Yes.
Waltner.
Yes.
Gearing.
Yes.
Jacobson.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Schoenwald.
Yes.
American Rescue Plan, Mr. Euchre.
I just wanted to share a couple things that the deadline for this is September 18th to at least get us registered, and we got most of the paperwork in, so that'll all be registered. We have been allocated 228,000 was the number that drew up for Freeman, and basically the three issues that they're working on is water, sewer, and broadband, but within that, water drainage is a big part of it. Now they just came out with an email Friday. They're calling for what do they call that, Carol? Water development plans.
Right. If you have a plan, District 3 will help you get it written up, but you need a lot of the details.
Yeah. So there's a lot of what ifs out there yet. They're still not sure, and what they said is they're trying to draw as many cities' plans in so that they can decide how they want to distribute the money better. Brian at District 3 said there'll be a lot of activity on those, so
What does activity mean?
there'll be a lot of people throwing in opinions on what they want to do
With that money?
with their money.
So they haven't decided yet the parameters.
Right.
Okay. But we have made the application.
Yes.
Okay. Good then.
Bonnie, have you heard anything new?
Not a thing.
Okay.
Are your, Leanne, are your people all here? Is everyone here? Or- I'm gonna rearrange this a little bit. We have the library board here. I believe you want to speak? We have I'm sorry. There's your podium.
Welcome.
Hi. My name is Ruth Bookman. I'm a member of the Freeman Public Library Board. I'm married to Chris, and we live out by Clayton. He farms, and I take care of the kids. As a member of the Freeman Public Library Board, I've been chosen to come and talk to you about a few of the things that we've been doing Hopefully in your packet you have a paper that Leanne had given to Doug. It talks about the children's programming numbers from 2018 to current. And if you can just look at that and have a writing utensil handy, because I'm going to ask you to take a few notes. Can I do that?
Yeah, you sure.
Okay, great. So if you look, this is a list of the programs that Crystal has been working on and implementing and growing since you people hired her back in July of 2018. So the first on the list is the STEM program. Some of you may not know what STEM means, but STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics. And this is where you do your writing, okay? This program that usually meets once a month is geared towards kindergarten through 6th grade, okay? So now that you write that down, during a usual STEM lab, you might be wondering what happens. If you look at your list, the topics that Crystal had used were magnetic slime, binary code keychain, catapults, that kind of thing. My boys, I've got 3 of them, and the 2 older ones had gone, and their favorite was the catapult. Who wouldn't want to build a catapult, especially little boys? And so what you would usually do at a STEM lab is you would make something. In this case, they made a catapult out of popsicle sticks, spoons, and rubber bands. And so they would make a catapult, and then they would try to figure out how far is this going to shoot, what's it going to do, and then they would build it. And so this is one example of what they're doing with the STEAM labs. It's a hands-on approach, great for kids, especially boys. The next one is the Lego Club, and that was geared towards kindergarten through 5th grade, okay? And so the Lego Club was just that. They would meet once a month. Crystal would give the kids an idea, kind of a creative theme, and then she would let them go to it. And Leanne told me that it was always so loud in there because they were so energetic and they were having a great time. And once they were done building, it's usually about 45 minutes, then they would display those Lego creations in the library. So that was the Lego Club. If you go down in your paper, next is story time, and that is geared towards the preschool side of things, okay? And if you look at that list, you see the years and the different sessions, the participants, that kind of thing. This really took off in spite of COVID. I would call it a COVID blessing, because what happened was after the library had closed and then they reopened again, what Crystal did was she implemented the story time to go, or stories in a bag, and she would take all of the activities, the crafts, and put them in a bag and then set them out in the lobby, and then kids and families could come and pick those up. And Leanne said that just took off because people could come in, pick it up at their leisure, and do it whenever they had time at home. So that really took off. And then finally is the summer reading program, and that was geared towards preschool through 6th grade. And there you can see the numbers, how Crystal broke it down, and she even implemented starting a daycare component with it. Now, if you look at that list, what age group is missing?
High school.
Thank you. I've got 4 kids. My oldest is going to be 13 in 2 weeks. And we are avid supporters of the library, but I don't have a program for him. And so that's why I'm here. That's why SEDAF is here. We're here asking if you would kindly consider making Crystal a full-time employee. Look at what she has done in the short time that she has been a part-time employee. Can you imagine what she would do as a full-time employee? Will it take money? Yes. But most things that are worth doing do take money. You want to add anything?
The only thing I would add is my kids have also personally benefited from all of the programs that Crystal has implemented, including story time, before COVID, when we used to go into the library and have story time, and I had little ones then, and so they would go in and just absolutely loved it, gave them, something to do, something to look forward to, and then, some of the Lego time, my daughter, she loved it, she loved creating things, And then at that time, who's now a 5-year-old, he was 3 at the time, and he would want to go in as well and start building stuff, even though he was so little at the time, but he saw everybody else doing it around him, and so he, was very interested in also creating things. And it's really nice to see Crystal putting together these programs for our kids. It motivates them, it excites them, they have something to look forward to, and I can't imagine if our town didn't have these resources for our kids to attend and to look forward to. And I think we do really need more programs like this, geared towards some of the teenagers and older groups and even adults. And we do have some things for the adults. But if Crystal were to be full-time, I think she would bring a lot to the table. And so we hope that you guys will consider.
So how many hours does she put in now?
Right now, she's 3 days a week.
Okay, so.
So we would be adding 2 days a week, and that would give her, by doing this, it would give her an extra, extra day for sure of planning and implementing and getting stuff together and crafts ready and stuff like that. Possibly maybe even a day and a half, depending on schedule. And I can tell you from experience, Crystal is busy from the moment she gets there till she goes home. If there's not a customer or a patron in there, that she's helping, she's working on these programs, and just doesn't have enough time for all the ideas that she has. And we have a great library, and I just want to see that continue and to support, the city. We have a great city, and you guys support everything so well, and I just would like to see.
Yeah, there's no doubt the library is a, wonderful place. I'm just wondering, because when you put someone full-time, there's more than just adding hours, you add the benefits with it. So, and I think that's, as a council, that's what we're considering. So my question would be, I'm sure Crystal does a wonderful job, I'm sure of that, but what if we could add a helper with her to help her with her duties and not go full-time to offset the benefit, because I think, from my understanding, someone just recently left, right? And that was a part-time position?
Yeah.
Okay, did that person, being part-time, help Crystal with her duties, or is Crystal just on this on her own? I mean, I guess I don't understand.
She worked on her own on the children's programming.
Mm-hmm.
The issue we run into is like helping her is, having a part-time person there. Then we're going to have, just so many people at once, and then we'll have days where there's only going to be like one person there.
Uh-huh.
It's just a matter of filling
Sure.
the slots. It's kind of tricky. And Leanne Schultz-Thomas, and Bonnie
Mhm.
Cheddar. Well, Bonnie Cheddar, she's very part-time. She only works one Saturday a month. But, Leanne Schultz-Thomas is willing to work around her schedule too, to benefit, to help Crystal get some more planning time. And one of the things is part-time on Fridays, nobody would ever whoever worked on Friday wouldn't get a lunch break because they always work by themselves.
Okay.
By making Crystal full-time, then that Friday person would get a lunch break as well, and.
Yeah, it's just a,
Have you figured out how much it would actually increase the library's budget? Cost-wise?
I personally haven't, I figured I've been told around 18,000.
If we absorb her hours, that was Ann's.
That was Ann.
Which actually almost makes it up to the full 40, short maybe an hour and a half, which would be bad. The only biggest impact will be the benefit package.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem you have with part-time, for like someone like Crystal who's good at it, she's part-time, she's got no benefits. We could lose her. And when you have a good person, you really don't want to just see that person disappear because, if she can find a job with benefits somewhere.
Well, if we can absorb the increase, I'm all for it. anything to get kids off an iPad, watching the programming, they named it right the first time in the 50s, watching the programming on TV. You know, if they can get in doing things, the numbers are 597 for story time, the reading program. That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, and things we don't realize.
What are the ideas for the high school? So you said there's not a program for the high school kids. So my question is what are you looking at doing and how are you looking to get them in there? Because right now, we have a robotics team that has been going on for 7 years now, maybe 8, if I'm wrong. But that has not really grown. There is not very much interest. In fact, a lot of the kids that are in there are the kids that started in it that want to finish it out to their high school. So, that's what I'm trying to figure out is how are we going to get high school kids to join us when we're having troubles with another program like building catapults and stuff like that to come and join a robotics team. What's the interest them to coming into the library for a program?
Basically, it's gonna be trial and error. We're just gonna try things and see what works and what doesn't. You know, there's sports kids. You know, they always have something to do because they're in sports and they're involved. And there's the music kids, you know, that are practicing and doing this. But, you know, there's a group of kids that just don't fit into nice little school-defined niches. And, you know, we'd like to see if we can maybe build something off of them, whether that be, you know, a teen book club if we have some readers, or, you know, if that is, you know, some sort of arts and crafts for some kids, or we don't know. Teens are really hard to get in the library, just period, no matter where you're at. So, you know, we just want to try. We want to try to reach them. So we don't have anything in mind as of yet for sure, because, well, for one, Crystal hasn't had the time to put the energy into seeing what's out there and available.
We had also discussed coding at one point.
So maybe more career-orientated type programs that these kids can see as high schoolers. That's something you want to go into? Okay.
So the part-time person that left, that has not been filled, so that's a,
No,
okay. And how part-time was that person? How many hours a week?
2 days a week.
2 days a week. Okay. So the 2 days a week that she is not there, then Crystal would take them 2 weeks. So then would be the benefit package,
Right.
which is
the biggest chunk.
This is the biggest chunk.
yeah,
Equation.
yeah, and that's unfortunate, but it is, yeah.
So if you lost a part-time person and she's picking up those hours, is she going to have the time to still work on new programming?
She is, because we are going to then rearrange scheduling so that she can have, Leanne Schultz-Thomas is working Fridays now. So if Crystal starts, Crystal will be working Fridays as well. So Leanne will be at the desk, so that'll give Crystal a solid 8 hours every week to do planning. And Leanne Schultz-Thomas is gonna split her other day into half days. So then she'll have 2 other half days that she can have for planning and implementing.
Okay.
Well, that's not gonna be the only thing she does either, though. I mean, she's still doing
No,
other
no.
library work in
Yes.
addition to this.
But we're just trying to carve out some time where she's uninterrupted and has more time to work on planning.
I just want to, Leanne, you do a great job at the library and the library board for giving your time and so forth, and we never have to mess with you a whole lot, and I appreciate that, and you do a great job. But looking at this, I did pull up hours, and hours worked by Leanne, by Crystal, by Ann Stahl, who's no longer with us. Well, I mean, she's not working for us anymore.
With the library.
And Leanne, you're averaging 30 hours a week since the first of the year. And Crystal is averaging 23 hours a week. And before we need another full-time employee, you could work 8 hours, and Crystal could work 8 hours. She'd be under the 32, Crystal would be. And she would then be, I mean, she is a full-time employee.
The only problem with that is right now, because she isn't a full-time employee, she has another part-time job. So she can't, I can't give her just 8 hours because she's not willing to give up that other job unless,
She gets insurance.
yeah.
So basically, this is about insurance,
This,
pretty
yeah.
much. Okay. And that's very understandable in this day and age.
Yeah.
Any other comments, Councilman?
Well, I think we should seriously consider this because it's an opportunity for growth and it's an opportunity to go ahead and invest in the future here.
Any other comments?
Well, like I said, I think we need to look at keeping a person, if there's a good person in there, that if we're gonna lose her because she can't get benefits and can find a place with benefits, we could lose a good person.
Everybody's replaceable, Charlie.
I understand that.
We lost a policeman. We suffered for 5 months. I hope we got better. I went 4 months without a finance officer. Is it cumbersome? Yes, but everybody here is replaceable.
I understand that, but if we've got a good program going, why?
That's
do we
right,
wanna-
and I'm not taking anything away. I'm talking about hiring another full-time employee
I understand
with
that.
all of that.
I understand that.
When I see room, 10 hours with Leanne and 9 hours that we're not filling up. That's my point, Chair. I'm trying to get rid of full-time employees because of the insurance and the unemployment and everything else. It's not about being mean. It's about business. If it were my business, I'd say I'm sorry. I'd love to help you out, but it's business.
I think the further part of this discussion should be an executive, so we can figure out what a financial burden it would be if it is much of one or not, instead of airing this out here.
We'll go into executive session, finishes what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's fine with me. That's fine.
You wanna do that now or at the end?
Pardon?
Wanna do that now or at the end?
We'll do it at the end.
That'd be fine, thank you.
We've got it.
I prefer to do it at the end.
While we're on, I mean. it's
Right, that's what I mean.
That's the one
Exactly,
bad
that's what I
thing
meant.
about that, yeah.
Yeah, because what we should do is probably, find out the numbers that adding a full-time employee would cost, and with the absence of the other employee now, and just weigh the differences, what it would be, and if there's any other, and take a look at the budget, and, that's what we're gonna be doing, I guess, figure out where that's at to try to make that work.
Yeah, and I'm not against the library. You guys do great work. I'm trying to make a business decision here. The easy thing would be just go with it. I don't like being the heavy here. But as a businessman, that's how I look at it. I hope you understand that. Not being negative on the library or anything, I do get that you guys are doing great work, okay? And I thank you very much for coming, unless somebody else has and you can stay too if you want to hear what else goes on.
I think you had put something together for the budget, didn't you, when we.
When we submitted the original budget, yes, that
Yeah.
included.
It increased it 10,000.
And, yeah, that's what I was just
All it
looking
was
for.
is to make her,
That was to make her full-time.
Right. Okay, and that was taking away the part-time?
No.
That wasn't, okay.
even with part-time.
Okay, all right. Yeah, got it here somewhere. So, yeah, we'll look at them and
What did I skip to get to them?
see here.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
well,
coming
thank you
down.
very much for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
There's no public input. Hearing for sale of, those alcohol, it's a malt liquor and a wine. We need to do those on two.
Yeah, they're two separate ones.
For,
One,
what is it called, whiskey what?
Whiskey House.
Whiskey House.
Whiskey house without whiskey.
It's in the sauce.
So
their thing, it's in the sauce.
The first one would be a retail on-off sale malt beverage and South Dakota farm wine. There's no limits on these in Freeman, so this is one that we split with the state. The $300 fee, 150 goes to the state, and 150 stays in Freeman.
I make a motion to approve the malt beverage and South Dakota Farm wine application for Whiskey House.
I'll second that.
Call roll.
Jacobson,
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Schoenwald,
Yes.
Jaden,
Yes.
Waltner,
Yes.
Gearing.
The wine on-off, so.
Retail on-off wine and cider, which is national brands of wine.
Okay.
So
Is that an unlimited?
that is also unlimited. That's a $500 license, and the city keeps that one
Per year?
per year, yep.
Okay.
Now the wine one will renew at the first of the year, and the malt beverage renews in the middle of the year, so this is in effect.
Is this a prorated thing then?
No, there's no proration on it.
Make a motion to approve the retail on-off sale wine and cider.
I'll second that also.
Call roll.
Sorry,
Yes.
Schoenwald,
Yes.
Jaden,
Yes.
Waltner,
Yes.
Gearing, Jacobson.
Yes.
So moved. We have a tabled liquor application. My recommendation would be to leave it tabled, since you can make a motion to bring it on to the table, but all four are out.
Obviously, we don't have any licenses to give out.
Yeah, so if we.
So we
if
can
just-
bring it off the
If you just
table and
leave
deny
it,
it.
it's done. If you bring it up, you're gonna have to
Oh, we
approach
can
it.
bring it out and deny it. We could bring it out and deny it, then it's
There's
done.
nothing to give, so there's no reason to table it
Table
and
it.
carry it on, right? So just bring it out
Just-
and let's deny it.
Then if they want it, they can always reapply if there's everyone that opens up.
And you
Okay,
reapply every year, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if there's one comes available, then you'd be able to
Well,
grab it.
yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be in business either, though.
Can one
Right.
building have,
He don't own it no more. I mean, there's no Doc's
Oh,
Bar.
Doc's. Oh,
can
yeah,
one
yeah,
building
yeah.
own licenses under different people's names? Because isn't the other one for the same place as the Whiskey House?
I believe they can operate underneath it, yes.
Oh, okay.
yeah. It's, yeah,
That's good.
What happens
I
is
see- I
that
see what
person
you're
running the business pays the person who has a license.
Okay.
Pays them to use it under their name.
Okay,
But they are held liable for whatever
Mhm.
okay.
damages, whatever comes with it.
Okay.
There's
But
so I'll
that's-
leave it alone.
There's none to be given out.
I'd say bring it out.
Bring it out.
Fine.
You wanna bring it out?
I'll
You have a
bring it
motion
out.
to bring it on the
Motion
table,
to
back
bring
on?
it out for discussion for liquor license application for Doc's Bar.
Second.
Call roll.
Schoenwald,
Yes.
Jaden,
Yes.
Waltner,
Yes.
Gearing,
Yes.
Jacobson,
Yes.
and Sorry.
Yes.
How would you like to handle this?
I make a motion to deny the liquor license from, application from Doc's Bar.
Second.
Who seconded that?
Terry.
Jaden,
Yes.
Waltner,
Yes.
Gearing,
Yes.
Jacobson,
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Schoenwald.
Yes.
All right. Second reading of cannabis ordinance.
Motion to adopt the license provision for cannabis establishments 2021-13.
Second.
That was Terry.
Yes.
Okay. Waltner,
Yes.
Gearing,
Yes.
Jacobson,
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Schoenwald.
Yes.
Jaden,
Yes.
Brings us to the budget. First reading of the budget. How do you gentlemen want to you want to go through it? It was given to you last meeting, I believe. Are there any questions that you want to broach now?
Not at this time. I guess it'll all depend on what we decide on the library, actually, as far as any changes that I can foresee coming. Otherwise, it's,
Other than the library,
yeah.
there was nothing in there? Charlie,
Felt
was
the
there
same
anything
way.
in there?
Felt the same way, Lonnie.
Well, you were here.
I was here.
Charlie Gearing?
I don't like it, right?
Tabitha? Okay. Yeah, it's your own fault. Jacobson, if you. Okay. Well, that we'll consider this the first reading, the 2022 budget. I don't know, the Westward View Edition bidding timeline. Who was here?
I was here on Friday.
It was Friday. Do you have it written out?
It's just Lonnie and Terry.
Yes.
I wasn't.
I wasn't here.
Those of you that weren't here, the reason we put it, why I had a special meeting, was to get moving. Because if we would have waited till tonight, it's another week, it's another 10 days, 9 days for the paper and so forth, so to expedite it, so if we can move some dirt this year, it'd be very helpful, I think. And so that's why we did it, so we could have actually open bids on September 23rd, which would have to be another special meeting. Would meet our demand of 2 publications, and then, what is it, 20 days after, I think, 10 or 20 days after? The last publication would be the 23rd. And we could go through it at that time and see who's there. And you could award bids that night too, or kick it on down the road.
And when would
Their hope,
be, when would that be when would they release the bids?
it'll be in the Courier Thursday.
Okay.
19th and the 16th advertising,
Yep.
Yeah,
but then
I don't
the
have the
23rd.
advertisement
Okay.
actually.
the 23rd is when they would close them,
Okay, all right.
and
5 o'clock.
I believe it said 3 o'clock on the bid proposal. And then they would have them to award by October 5th to this council meeting, so.
So on Thursday, this Thursday, the first ad would come out in the paper. And basically it just says, contact Stockwell's, basically is what it said. And Stockwell, I'm sure, contacts people,
I'm assuming it's already is out already.
is what?
I'm assuming they've released it out on the bidding exchange and other places.
I'm sure,
By now.
I am sure.
We just have to legally have it in our paper.
And the locals have all been made aware.
Right.
But this has got more to do with statute and so forth, so. Just keep you abreast there. Okay, Mr. Sorry went to much work
And my wife.
and drove the streets. And do you all have a copy there?
You forgot one though,
Oh, come on. Which one?
Bethany Church.
Doug, you want to put it up there?
You just didn't highlight it yellow.
Yeah, you gotta, it's white.
It's white.
It's white, where was
It's
it?
yellow.
No,
It didn't come through his, is
Yeah, my-
highlighted yellow, it just didn't come through on
Yeah,
ours.
it's there.
I can't see yours.
It's there. Yeah, I know that when you copy them, they don't go through, so, yeah, I apologize, but.
Also, you had to go through.
It's pretty much as it is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just a couple places where I saw where, and it's residential, 2 residential, maybe 3 residential places I saw
Where they park.
where they parked the wrong way, and
I know.
it's obvious that they should be the other way.
One's across the street.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yeah, so, But, I mean, it's obvious, and, you know, and I know the Senior Citizen Center, the one-way is angled, and across the street is parallel. But when they're having events going on, they're both angled. And I watched this, I witnessed this just the other day, working on the house over there. When they back up, boy, yeah, it should not be that way.
It's more work for you.
Well, but I mean, I mean, you just can't see, and, yeah, so, I mean, there's a reason why,
Streets are too high.
right, there is a reason why it's,
So that, you got another, and ours is a white space where the senior citizens is on Fourth. Is that, you're gonna allow perpendicular in front of their building yet?
that was, it
On
was, angled,
Right.
yep, that was in front of the Senior Citizens, because it's got a curb there, and
Right.
it was designed for it, it's deep enough, but across the street,
Right, no,
right, yep.
Well, they also do on the west side of senior citizens.
Right, and I think we had it that way too. I believe we put it that way.
my map shows pink, but,
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, we did have it that way, yeah.
Up to the car wash.
Up to the
Yeah.
car wash, yeah. Yeah,
It's on his.
it just, yeah, maybe I should just walk over there and show you. I've seen it enough, you guys can. That's the first copy, the original.
I think it looks good.
It just kind of mudded over there, the highlighter kind of mudded over on the other side there, that's why.
Scott, have you looked at this?
I gave you a copy,
Yeah,
told him to drive every street and look at it.
the only problem I have is signage. For you
Mhm.
actually to enforce the law, or South Dakota law, there has to be some kind of signage. Because if not, somebody's just gonna park wherever, however, and then you can't really enforce it because there's no signage there. That would be the toughest part.
So on every street, and every dedication has to be signed as to what is legal.
Well, you
Well,
can,
that-
you can, well, I don't know how our ordinance reads, but it can be required of parallel parking in Freeman than where it's marked.
Other than designated areas,
Right.
because that'd be a
Be
lot less signs.
signs.
Yeah, we got
Wait a
the
minute.
signs.
Yeah.
Buy a dozen signs and have that done, and
And it would be better, because anytime there's a new street developed, it's automatically gonna be parallel instead of having to
Mhm.
identify it.
mhm.
Didn't we talk about just painting the stripes as the sign that was parallel, or that was angled parking?
Well, it'd be, Main Street, obviously,
I don't know, is that good enough?
For painting the signs.
painted angles.
Just painting lines.
I mean, you could. I mean, I think that's the biggest problem is you can't really see a lot of the line.
Well, I guess.
Just that the road condition.
I mean, if we can adopt this and we can paint, I don't see the problems of parking that tickets would have to be written on would be on the angled parking. It's gonna be on the parallel.
It's gonna be on the
where
parallel
people
most.
wanna park, it's like some do now, that
Mhm.
isn't.
Right.
And if we say it's parallel in this town, other than where marked, and our markings are on the street, I
Mhm.
don't see a problem.
Yeah.
If we get to the point where we gotta start writing tickets,
Which would be on consistent repeat offenders, right?
I'm sure.
Right. First you'd give them warning until the.
I mean, there isn't a lot of people doing that right now, but there are some.
And what about Green Meadow Lane over there? It's not on the map.
Oh,
That should be absolutely no parking on that street. It ain't even wide enough to be a real street. I don't know why we ever took that in the city.
New street, I mean.
Where?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, we didn't,
them twins.
I just
out there.
assumed it's housing that they just parked in their driveways, and if they have guests, that they parked parallel along the road. I'm
I
assuming.
think that's what I've seen. I've seen parallel
Mhm.
parking there.
Yeah. On the one side, not both sides.
It's basically like a glorified driveway between
Mhm.
houses, really.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not wide enough for that purpose.
We just have to push the snow down.
So Lonnie, what you're saying is we'll mark where the parallel or the angled
Angled.
parking is.
Yeah.
Which would be a lot less, a lot easier then. And I don't think if there are lines drawn, lines drawn, I don't think there's a need for signage.
No, I agree.
So the community center, for one, would be all angled on the
East side.
east
East
side.
side.
Yeah, so that would
West
all
side would
be-
not be.
Yeah, I don't
Is that
know.
gonna go angles all the way south?
That's what I was just gonna ask too, is with the development going there, where they're.
I don't see a problem with it not going all the way south, because you can't park in front of their driveway anyway.
Right.
Oh, sure.
And
yeah.
people are still, until we actually get Third Street going through there and put a parking
We're
lot
gonna
on
need that
the north
park.
side of Third Street, they'll still be using that
Sure.
street to park for events.
You would just have to have on the corner, a blocked off, so they don't park all the way to the corner to block the.
Right.
The
I mean, you could probably get,
the triangle view.
yeah, or I mean, and it's- one sign might put up like saying no parking from here to corner. So you don't block that.
Yeah. And line that, no parking there. Yeah. Be the easiest, I guess, whenever there's paint available.
I was gonna say, I think December 1st is when it's supposed to come.
You know, perfect time to
Yeah.
paint. Yeah.
Motion to accept this Blaine's,
I make a motion to accept Blaine's markings.
Second.
put it down as Blaine's resolution.
Yeah, yeah. No, do not. With my cell phone number too, please, yeah.
Don't worry, that's already on the website.
Okay.
You got a second?
We do have a second.
Yeah.
Call roll.
Gearing,
No.
Jacobson,
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Schoenwald,
Yes.
Jaden,
Yes.
Waltner.
Yes.
I just put this down, I didn't know, a couple people asked me, talking to Lonnie previously, as far as water restrictions, and I think we'll just leave them for right now, who knows, September.
I need you through September.
I don't think it's hurting anything.
No.
I mean,
Everybody's used to it, and it's not as critical anymore.
it's a couple days there were, did go over, I see.
It
but-
still could, I mean, if we could go on with September, I mean, it still can be.
There can be some more
Yeah,
days.
but what I'm saying.
After that, people are, I mean, the diehards are still gonna want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
it's
it's,
died off quite a bit.
Yeah,
There's
it's-
quite a bit of blue in the mornings. Actually, the grass is better off than to do rural water anyway.
Yeah. So that's the reason I threw it on, because,
trying to keep it.
well, we did broach the subject.
But it does look like it's been a lot better.
Awful close.
That's because we've had
So we
some
just
rain
hang
all
on
that.
another month.
They-
Yeah, I haven't heard any place.
Rain does that.
I haven't heard any.
Nothing better than rainwater on the lawn than anything else.
The next item, Mr. Sari, do you want to broach that subject?
Yes, I don't have the legal description of it, but the Gehring property, just to the south of the city hall here, would like to, I guess, I would be making a motion, is that correct?
Yes.
For a purchase
For
agreement?
For the purchase agreement of the property south of the city building here. You need the amount?
Yes.
The amount of-
$10,000?
Yep, the amount of $10,000
I'll second that.
would be to Lyle and Lynn Gehring property.
Call roll.
Yeah, and the garage.
Okay.
Can't miss it.
And this much land, but it's
Yeah.
next to it, and you just.
Which is already sitting on our property.
Yeah.
All right, Jaden,
Yes.
Waltner,
Yes.
Gearing,
Yes.
Jacobson,
Yes.
Sorry?
Yes.
Schoenwald.
Yes.
Development, marketing,
That was supposed to be on.
That'll be at next
It's
meeting.
always the second.
That'll be at the next meeting.
I can't wait that long. Other business, Dewey's not here, Lonnie?
Dewey's not here, but I was gonna bring up that on our bike path going out on Sixth Street, I can't remember which street it is, if it's Relanto or Elbert, but the sidewalk gotta jump like that when you're coming off the street. It's like it's up a ways,
On the,
bike path.
On Sixth Street?
Yeah, on the bike
But you
path.
don't know where.
I can't remember when I was driving by if it was Elbert or Relanto, but it's
okay.
One of those two.
one of those two. Heading east, so it's about that tall. It's gotta be
Ground down.
taken care of before winter, so we don't have to buy a new snow blower every 6
Yeah.
months.
Plus someone tripping on it.
Oh, I'll make sure he gets that message.
That's all.
That's all you
Oh,
have?
I guess one more thing. He said he was gonna fill the holes on Sixth Street.
Yeah?
They're not done yet.
Dewey is off this week, so.
I did see, on that note, I did see the spot on First Street finally get filled in. They must have got their asphalt. They were having asphalt trouble with the plant and getting it and everything else. And so I did have a complaint about that for that it took so long.
And
Right.
width, is that first and width?
First and width.
There's a big, for a long time, there's a big drop off, yet you really can't.
I think that's what they were,
I think they got that at the end of the day, but I did not, I drove by it, but I did not drive it,
Okay.
so.
that's what I'm saying, is that was not done for
Okay,
quite
I
a
just
while.
spoke with a resident this morning, and it hadn't yet, but
Nope,
it was
it-
probably addressed.
It wasn't at noon, and by the time I went the other way, it was, so, yeah, because, I probably talked to the same person, but we.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and rightfully so, but they didn't understand, they have to prep the road, so when it's available, they can put it in, if they say, hey, we got it available, the road's not prepped, it's going somewhere else.
Right.
So it's an unusual year, for asphalt, so they're doing what they can when they can.
And the highway department was here today.
Mm-hmm.
They
Must have
finished.
been later this afternoon, yeah.
Whatever
looks
they
good.
did, it can't be any worse than the way it was.
Mr. Gearing?
The only thing I have is we have a trailer that sits on Walnut Street, on the street. That's been there for a while.
Who?
It's a landscape trailer, yeah.
And we have an ordinance that there's not supposed to be anybody parking on the street for any length of time, and this has been here for weeks.
Where at?
Right across from the school, right there in the corner.
And it's on one of the busiest streets.
Oh,
Yeah, they're doing a bunch of landscape at a house on the,
Yeah, they're redoing the whole front of the house.
but I agree.
Driveway and
It should
everything,
not
right?
be on the street for that long a
in
period of
front,
time.
that's in front of Schmidt's house, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
don't
their,
know what
de-
names, but yep.
it's not their debut either. Last year, we had the same
Yeah.
thing. Problem is, this year, it's a school zone and
Busy street, and it shouldn't.
emergency route. I would make a recommendation that we write a letter to this company and just advise them that before they do anything else, that they need to talk to Dewey or Cody or
That'd be, and
finance
that,
officer.
and that should go to any construction that's gonna do any amount of work in town, so that we can keep a handle on it.
Because I did drive that when, there's kids running around and.
one of the worst.
That is not good.
It's the worst, it's one of the
Is
worst.
there an alley in the back there on?
I don't know how far that
It
goes.
wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. I can't believe you come and dump stuff on you come from out of town, and you come and you just dump material on the street without stopping in and talking to somebody.
Which I had a conversation with him. And I told him, I said, before you start to do anything, you need to come to the town hall first and have a discussion of what you're doing before you just dump stuff on the road.
Yeah. You did, or?
I did. And they're supposed to be getting that cleaned up.
Yeah, because I did have a pretty upset citizen.
Well, everybody has a right to be.
Yeah, and
They did it last year, but it was on Stadium Drive, and, it wasn't in a lot of people's way. that was kind of inexcusable.
Mhm.
Inexcusable.
Yeah.
So, that take care of it, Charlie?
Yeah, I think,
We didn't even mention their names.
I'm
You're
good
good?
now.
Mr. Sari?
Yeah, I just have a couple. The fire department happened to be by it, and they asked, in honor of September 11th, if they could put a flag out on 81. It'd be with Mitch Pine Saucer's boom truck. You know, I'm sure everybody's seen the flag, and with one of their fire trucks underneath it. And I believe it's Saturday, which happens to be their golf tournament, fire department's golf tournament. So they just wanted to, you know, ask if they could do that. I think, is it September 11th on a Saturday? Yeah. So in honor of September 11th, that's what they would like to do. And they asked if I could bring that to the council and get the permission to do that.
It'd be on Mitch's, or?
Yeah, it'd be on Mitch's.
so
Not that I
as long as
care.
you're in trouble with the DOT, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any.
It's on private property.
Yeah, that's what I mean, as long as it's
Yeah.
not in a right of way or
It's just
someplace.
Yeah.
the fire
Yeah,
truck.
you know, and they knew that.
Use a
They-
real fire truck.
Yeah, they knew that, but they wanted to ask permission, you know, so I said, you know, I think it's a
Absolutely.
great thing and it's great to honor
Absolutely.
that, yeah, absolutely. So, I told them I didn't think there'd be any problem, but if there was, I'd let them know, so just leave it.
And on the back of that, and we haven't got anything from the state yet, but I'd like to put the flag at half-mast for Saturday. That'll be all right.
I thought that was not.
I'm sure it will.
I'm sure it is. We,
Because it's Patriot Day.
yeah, we usually get an email, but I haven't got anything
Yeah,
yet.
but I thought it was like some kind
And
of
it's the 20th.
resolution from the
Yeah.
Yeah,
president
so-
or whatever before that's gonna be in perpetuity.
Yeah, and that's why they're doing it in honor of the 20th anniversary for September 11th, but somebody will have to do that on Saturday. You know, okay, all right, because that's usually on a Saturday, that's usually the problem, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay. And just another thing, I happened to be at an event at the community center, and it was a larger event, and it was
Bats
warm
were
out.
down?
What's that?
Back come down on you?
No, I'm giving a compliment. They had a lot of the people there say, I'm so glad we had a place like this. I'm so glad that we had a place like this. You know, it's hot outside, it's humid, enough room for everybody, so they greatly, greatly appreciate it. So, and I know, Charlie, you put a lot of effort in there, and the curtains are wonderful. I mean, absolutely wonderful. They give it. And that's all I have.
That's it?
That's it.
Mr. Brewer?
I have a question about, well, Walnut Street, there, right there at the intersection of Walnut and College. So pedestrians have the right of way, so when you've got 15 kids coming out of school and people are just whipping through Walnut Street, not even letting, do we have a crosswalk or anything that we can put in there to slow those people down so they don't take out a child?
Those dips don't slow anybody down?
Huh?
Those dips don't slow anybody
Oh,
down?
no.
At
I used to-
which intersection?
There, Walnut and College.
Oh.
Scott was also gonna talk to the school about safety patrol, because
Yeah.
we used to have that, but we had parents concerned, because they're, like you say,
Yeah.
there could be like 15 kids
Isn't there a
lined
speed
up.
zone around the school there?
Just.
That's just
College
on
Street.
the, yeah.
That's it.
People don't realize that pedestrians have the right of way.
Why don't we have a speed zone?
There's a thing that says 10 when children present or something.
Or
15, but it's.
But we also don't have crosswalks
Yeah.
painted.
I mean, there's been a few times I've had to stop and get out and actually stop traffic, let the kids go through. So I didn't know if there's.
You want
crosswalk.
signs, you want it painted is what you're after?
Yeah. And usually they make those like, they're like cones that sit about this high and says, stop for pedestrians and crosswalk.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that would help. Because I've seen, they just fly through there, they don't pay attention to what's the kids sitting there and everything.
My concern is if they're flying through there, so you're saying they're going over 15?
Oh, yeah.
So why are we not stopping them there?
Well, Because they get from one point, well, plus that trailer's sitting in the way, so I can't put it on the radar.
So do we have a radar trailer, right?
Well, I can put that out, yeah.
Just to catch their attention at least,
Yeah.
for now, until we can come up with. But I agree, a crosswalk should be put there, and we should have a permanent sign sitting there regardless if it's for school. or
Yeah,
not. There's
yeah.
enough events that go on down there
Oh, yeah.
that
Whenever
says,
Anybody present?
stop for pedestrians and,
I don't
And on
think, I
Sixth.
believe we did have
and on
some.
Sixth Street,
And
yeah.
width.
Yeah, we need to identify some
Yeah.
of such, yeah.
I believe at one time we did have crosswalks there, and I'm sure it's been chipped and things have
covered.
happened. and it's
There's
gotten
no
neglected
shortage of white
since then.
paint, just yellow paint.
All right.
Yeah, so I say we put it back in.
Yeah.
But we need to get signage also that we can put in permanently.
Are these
You
like-
said on Sixth Street as well.
Sixth and width, I think, is.
Yeah.
Are these like students that you're seeing or like adults?
Oh, it's the adults coming from the elementary school.
Okay, okay.
We should know a little bit.
Got their kid, just
They
don't
shouldn't-
care about the rest.
Stop in the car.
Their kid's safe.
Right,
Yeah. I was worried about the kids that are there,
Yeah, yeah.
so.
You know, and they're waiting and waiting and waiting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And putting the speed control sign on Albert really helped while it was there.
Yeah.
But parents are concerned again, there's some children with
Disabled,
mobility
yeah.
challenges, and so it's a safety issue ongoing.
Mhm.
There are some of those signs too that like are lit, or you know, when like school would be letting out.
Mhm.
Like, is that something that's an option that would be permanent? You know?
Yeah,
Do you
like
think that would
T's
help?
got one, and
Yeah.
I've been through a few towns with them.
So people know when it's the school zone, it kind of draws attention to it.
There are some places, like Viborg is an example, where they have a county road going into town, and they have a radar sign, permanently mounted radar sign, not a
Yeah.
trailer, but a permanently
Yeah.
mounted radar sign that flashes speed.
A lot of towns have them now.
Huh?
A lot of towns have them now.
Yeah.
I would not know how much they cost, I'd have to do a,
Mhm.
It's not, I don't think they're cheap.
no, I don't think they are.
There's gotta be some kind
No,
of grant.
I would look into, excuse me, I'm sorry, but Sixth and width and College and Walnut, I guess, it would be, for sure, those two.
It's definitely something we need to look at, especially if there's any kind of safety grants out there that we can install these with on Sixth Street and around the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I believe there's, schools went up 20 kids.
39.
39.
I mean, some are at the colony, I believe, but
Yeah.
39 at Freeman Public enrollment is up. It's exciting.
Carol, do you have, or is that, was there anything else? Scott, I'm sorry. Okay. Mr. Euchre?
No.
Then we'll go into executive session. Well, excuse me.
Move to go, I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
Next meeting date?
Next meeting date, Tuesday, September 21st, 6:30. Be there, be square.
Now I move we go in executive
So who's gonna tell?
personnel pending litigation and contract negotiation.
Who's that?
Thank you, Dave.
Hey,
Thank you.
know what?
Someone want to second it?
Tell them I'll extend that if it paints that way.
There we go. That does look terrible, just a little bit.
Quick roll call, Lonnie.
See if it goes through.
I just gotta call a quick roll.
Executive.
For what?
We had a motion and a second to go into.
Hey, Scott, if you want to lock your door now, you
I'm gonna
can.
call it. Sure.
Lock this door if you
Done.
want. Don't forget.
I was gonna call roll to go into executive, and no,
Just aye.
okay.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh. I gotta quit.